Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Service Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner, the second team leader here, Champions Real Estate Team. So every Wednesday we jump on here, give a rundown what's going on in the real estate market over the last 7 days. We always like to start out with a quick tip, just to kind of give you a little bit of food for thought as you're going through, in the real estate process. So what we're thinking about today is putting everything in writing. And when I show houses to my clients, I was actually just showing a house, a farm out this afternoon, right over the lunchtime. And I kind of told my clients, I was like, hey, if there's stuff here that, at closing, if it's after closing and it's not here on the property, would you be upset? And if you are, then we need to put that in writing, put it in the contract. Now, if it's, personal property or if it's equipment or a pool table, that stuff would go on a separate bill of sale, not necessarily in the body of the contract, but part of the contract. So those are those things that I always joke when I teach my CE classes. As far as things being in writing, I tell my clients, hey, if I kick the bucket tomorrow, can somebody pick up our contract that we've agreed upon with the buyer or the seller, depending on which party that you're involved with? And can someone pick it up and know exactly what's to happen? Not that me, the agent, had a conversation on the phone with the other agent. Oh, yes, that refrigerator in the basement is included, or that wine fridge, or that play set, or whatever it is. Yeah, that's included. Oh, yeah, okay, cool, great. I kick the bucket. The agent goes, well, I never had that conversation. And well, the buyer and seller are going back and forth. Well, nothing's in writing if it goes to, the judge, in a court case or something like that. So that's the biggest thing, is making sure what you want in that house is specific to know exactly what's to do. And it's not just your agent going, oh, yeah. So if your agent tells you, yes, that's included. Well, is it, make sure it's in writing, and that's the biggest thing. And I say to my clients, and sometimes I'm overkill on the writing and making sure exactly when you get to home inspection phase, if you're asking for, repairs to be done, who's doing them, when it's to be done by, who's paying for it, and if something goes wrong, who's responsible. And so I've had some of those cases in my, well, going on 17 years now that something comes up and the seller goes, I'm working with the buyer. Seller goes, well, I'm not fixing that. We already fixed that. Well, no, we had it in the writing that you're supposed to fix the right hand sink in the dual vanity in the master bath. You fixed the left sink that was fine, and so luckily, we put that in writing. We specified which faucet it was. Other things I hear is, on home inspections is windows. Oh, well, which thermal seal is popped on the thing? Well, it's a northeast bedroom, second floor, and specifying exactly which window it is, and don't have somebody go up there. Oh, I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Have a licensed contractor, have the contractor, whatever of that is. So those are those things. It's very important, and that's why you hire an agent. Here at Champions Real Estate Team is because as a team leader, I harp on that stuff with our agents. Hey, make sure it's in writing. I've even had some of my agents and I go, hey, always revert back, talk to our manager, talk to our broker, make sure what we're presenting is what we should. And sometimes the broker goes, yeah, it's probably a little overkill, but you know what? I'd much rather have my agents trained to be overkill, teaching continuing education classes, being part of the real estate school, being part of the education committee down at the real estate commission. You hear the horror stories, and I go, I'd much rather have that stuff in writing, documented, so that our clients are protected. Because it's always the best when the other agents kind of refuting or rebutting what you're saying. And well, we didn't do that, or we didn't do this. And you just have something in writing that says the buyer and seller agreed on X. This is what's to be done. Well, we didn't agree upon that. Well, your buyer signed it, my buyer signed it, your seller signed it, whoever, everybody signed on it. And then it's easy. Then you don't have going back and forth and there's no real hard feelings and, all that good stuff. So anyways, moral of the story, make sure anything that you want in that house, or property is in writing, specifying exactly what's to do, what's to happen, and all that good stuff, and always have more than what you need sometimes. And, and I get my manager kind of gives me guff sometimes, like, well, you don't need all that stuff. I'm like, but hey, does it make sense? Is this exactly? Yes, it spells out exactly what's to do. Okay, great. Then that's fine. I don't want to have it, well, it could be interpreted this way or interpreted that way, and if it's any kind of legal thing, I consult our real estate attorney that's on staff at our company because I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to practice law. I don't want to get in that game. And so that's why I refer to my clients to, in those type of situations. So anyways, let's talk about the real estate market. Obviously, it's been freezing cold out there. I don't know, a polar vortex or whatever it is going down here. It's probably because all those the Canadians are so upset we smoked them on the Saturday night game. So there's a championship game. This is a little, I guess, sidebar from real estate. But USA Canada plays tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. for the Four Nations Championship. So if you're got an open night, it's going to be a good one. So, but anyways, that's why they're so cold up there. It's all those tears, rolling down. Anyway, sorry. I'll get off that boat. But anyway, let's get into what's going on in the real estate market. So it kind of, as far as numbers go, our numbers are down just a little bit from previous weeks. Going through here. So last week we had about 569, new listings go live. And at 1 o'clock today, when I just ran these numbers, we're at 405 over the last 7 days. Our new pending contracts are about the same, about that 330 ballpark. Sold homes, I think we're like 240 something last week. We're about 256 obviously today. So we're seeing, I think that new listings, I think obviously, hey, it's going to be cold next week. Let's hold off, before we put those houses on the market. So that's just that week to week type of thing. Oh, excuse me, but I don't think we're seeing, I think it's very typical for this time of year. But it's also, there's a lot less buyers out there looking at those homes. So get out there, and find that house if you're ready, willing, and able. And you've talked with, a lender like Russ has got your ducks in a row on the financing side, so you can rock and roll on that side. But yeah, so numbers wise, I think we're looking pretty good, pretty healthy here, pretty normal where we're at. Kind of, echo what we say pretty much every other week. But this time of year is a great time to get out there before the buyers get crazy. Like I said, I'm out there looking at a house today and it's negative, below zero wind chills. We're out there for about 2 hours walking around on a farm. Buyers are serious, those type of people. And so you make it out there and you may get it, be able to negotiate some things in that contract. So let's take a look at 30,000 foot view. Not too much earth shattering in this graphic here. So we got 2,900 homes on the market in the Omaha and Lincoln MLS. That's kind of mostly the eastern Nebraska side of it, kind of in that Omaha, surrounding areas, Lincoln surrounding areas. And then we got 1,759 Douglas Sarpy County active listings, 578 existing, and about 1,001. That number did not change from last week. So we're losing some of that existing inventory. So that just means the supply and demand thing. So like I said, as the supply goes down, demand's going to go up. And then obviously if more buyers enter that pool, buyers are going to go up even higher, as we get into that months. And, as we saw the last couple of years, we don't see too much push. We see push in inventory, but we see a push in buyers, and our inventory, our supply stays about the same, if not goes down a little bit. And then hence, prices can be affected good, in that realm for, depending on what side of the coin you're on there. So months of inventory went down a little bit. So obviously at 4.3, I think last week was at 5.2. That's what we saw more houses come off the market, obviously, in that sense. So average sold price, hovering right around that 330 point. We're about 3.7% from the previous year. But yeah, that's kind of what we got rocking and rolling in the real estate side. So I guess let's touch base here with Russ Williams at Williams Mortgage and see what we got. There we go. Get off of there. So cool. All right, Russ, how we doing?
Not too bad. Mortgage rates have been trading sideways again for another week, and we expect we'll be in this range for a while here. I will tell you that as we head into the spring market, that some of the subsidy programs, especially for low income or first-time home buyers, are starting to be refunded, and those funds are starting to become available. Some of those programs are tied to the household income. So if you have a husband and a wife, and even if only the husband might be the only one on the loan, some of those programs will look at the household income and qualify. That's pretty common with some of the state bond programs, for example, or even some of the programs that might be coming through some of the Federal Home Loan Bank $7,500 free grant type things. Other programs are tied to just the income of the borrower on the loan that's used to qualify. So it's important that when you do visit with your loan officer, whoever that might be, that you let them know if you're the only borrower on the loan, if your spouse is working, because they do check that. And in the event that they find out later on, you'd be disappointed when they tell you can't get that loan. But again, those funds are starting to pop up again. We are continuing to see, as Mark mentioned, very robust, especially at the lower price points. Those properties are selling pretty quick. Although I have seen some cases where the seller has been willing to participate and pay some of the buyer's costs, things like inspections. That definitely helps. Certainly, if you're looking at buying in 2025, it's advisable to get in touch with Mark and his team sooner versus later, and the lender of your choice. I'd love to help you to take a look and get your ducks in a row. And part of the reason for that is if we can tweak some minor things that could move you from government financing into conventional financing, that will help you in competitive bidding situations. If the seller has two offers that are identical in every way, with one of the offers being financed by a conventional loan and the other offer being financed by a government loan, all else being equal, the sellers oftentimes will take the conventionally conventionally financed offer, my mouth is frozen, Mark, because there's a perception that there'll be fewer headaches that the seller might have to deal with. So get in touch with Mark and his team now and get a game plan together because it's going to be another robust year.
Yep, and especially on those government funded loans, those FHA, VA type loans, you may also pay a funding fee to get those loans. So basically, you're paying Uncle Sam to basically get that loan, whereas in a conventional, you're putting more money into your pocket rather than giving Uncle Sam that 1.75% of the loan of the purchase price and financing that over 30 years. So I guess that those are things that I go over with my clients, as you do as well. Show them on the cost sheet exactly what is it costing them over 30 years if they go from a 3.5% down to maybe, FHA loan versus a 5%, conventional, and that 1.5% difference is basically that upfront funding fee. So, but anyways, yeah. If we can help you in any way, shape, or form, give Russ or I a holler, and yeah, reach out to us any way, shape, or form, like I said. And we will see everybody next week. And take care and stay warm and go.